Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Scroft here, and we are doing the final video on the MOZA setup. And wow, what else can I say but wow. I finally got it all set up, and this wheel is incredible. It is incredible. Let me see if I can get some good shots of this now, because the wheel itself is huge in comparison to my old wheel, or the one I was using before, which is obviously the Hori one that came with this side panel that I'm still going to use. I've still got this setup on, but this, it's so smooth, it's quiet, it's solid. I think they're the best ways I can just describe this product. It's solid, sturdy, silent, and smooth as hell. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I've borrowed this as well, so I've got one of them on, and that's going to be really useful whilst playing. But yeah, it's all set up, and this is what I've gone with. So if we just have a quick look there, you can just see that's the R9 wheelbase. I've got it on the mount that's made for the truck wheel, and you can see it's on a really nice angle, and it makes it quite upright, and yeah, dead unique. Perfect for a kind of tractor. So at the top here, there's this connection. I just lift it up and the wheel will come off. Can't really do it one-handed though, but I can try. But yeah, it's basically like that. So dead sturdy, it won't come off, but really easy to get off if I need to. So that's super cool. And then below here, this is the pedal setup. Now, I'm really happy with how these pedals have kind of ended up. They are solid, really solid. I do need to get some Velcro on the bottom like I did in the other one, just so it can kind of just stick it to the carpet. From the experience I've had with the other pedals, that works just fine, so I don't need to worry about that. It should just be fine. Yeah, putting a bit of kind of like two-sided adhesive Velcro on, and I think that should work a treat. Now, I have tried this out just to test, and yeah, we'll get into the game in a minute, but very happy with it. So yeah, really happy with how this setup's turned out. A big improvement on what I had previously. I can't fault the MOZA wheel at all with the wheelbase and the pedals. The whole thing is a step up for me, and I love this obviously stand that I'd built. Now, you've seen this before, and it's still really useful because I only have to plug in the one USB, but I have got a few extras now that I need to do. Before, I was just plugging in the one USB cable to my computer when I was putting it by the computer in its position. I was then also plugging in basically just the pedals to the back. So I have to still do that. I've got the one USB and the pedals, but I do have this power pack down here. Now, it's not very pretty at the moment. It does need adjusting, it does need sorting out, because I have got just a bit of duct tape on. But the power pack's kind of fixed in. I've bought some more Velcro to go with the pedals there, and I'm going to just put some Velcro strips so I can kind of make sure it's sturdy and stays on, but at the same time, if I need to move it, I can. And then all I have to do is just plug the power cable into the back. So there's three things now, which is obviously really useful because it's not too heavy. But yeah, I am super happy with this. So I think what we'll do now is we'll get it all connected up. I'll get a camera out so you can see me using the wheel, and we'll try it out in game. We'll go over the software a bit. It's going to be difficult to show everything because unfortunately, Farming Simulator is quite restricted when it comes to force feedback and stuff like that. But we're going to try our best to, just use it in game and just see how smooth it is, responsive it is. I think this is definitely a wheel that I need to put the dead zone down to 0, not even 1, because it's going to be that good that I'm expecting it to work a treat. Right, so we're now in the game. Got my camera set up to the left of me, and obviously we're in the game. Now this, straight away, I don't know if you can see it, but all the buttons are lit up as well. And it's got a tiny bit of feel to it because I set up in there kind of the wheel strength. So there is a bit of a strength to it. So when it gets to like here, it gets a little bit stronger, which is probably what you'd expect when you're kind of fully locked. And then what I love is it's silent and it just moves itself back into position. It's not a spring, so it doesn't make a noise. It's just completely silent. Like, I've got a microphone just here above me. I've also got a microphone to my chest, which is from my video camera. If it was picking up any sound from that, you guys would get to hear it too. Now, I've got the controller as well in my hand, so we're just going to get into this. I've got myself a Massey 5S, and we're going to try it out. Now, first thing I want to do is just check that. Like, you can see the tiniest movement that I'm putting onto that wheel is showing up. That's how sensitive it is, and it works perfectly. If anything, this is more sensitive and more responsive than all the other wheels, which is nice to see because of the cost. You want to see that. You don't want to kind of be shortchanged and have problems like that. Now, with all other wheels like you put onto the game, they usually come with a bit of a dead zone. I don't know why that is, but they kind of set it to 14. So I've put this right down to 0, which is great because now we've got this full, really sensitive steering wheel that's so smooth. It's just really quiet and smooth and dead responsive, and it's such a nice wheel to drive with. And obviously I'm using this up here that I've added to it, but we will just drive it like a steering wheel. But my God, this is superb. Now I haven't got the clutch set up just because I haven't got the gear stick to go with that and try it out. Oops, apart from me hitting my hand there, this is unbelievable. I am so used to driving with this though, I find it just so much easier to drive around. So let's go and have a bit of a drive around. Now, unfortunately, there isn't any force feedback. There is an option in the game, which is strange, to put force feedback on, and then it just says with compatible devices, but I don't know what defines a compatible device for Giant Software. It's really something that they've messed up, in my opinion. I have to call out Giant Software for that. They should have steering wheel force feedback. It's just something that should be there, especially by now. You know, people have been playing with steering wheels on Farming Simulator for quite some time. I imagine Truck Sim's not got that issue, and obviously racing sims that you could use this with, and anything really, Snow Runner, anything would probably be fine. You get a bit of feedback from the road. Now, man, this is just superb. It's so sensitive, and having it even at the 0% dead zone isn't a problem because sometimes it can drift, but no, this is fine. And my pedals are working, they're nice and sturdy, the brake's solid, and this is perfect. I'm really happy with it. Now, if you are interested in getting one of these, obviously you have to get the wheelbase and everything as well, but there is an attachment they're actually making to go on top of the wheelbase. So it'll just sit here under the wheel, on top of the wheelbase, under the wheel, but it'll have sticks on, so you can have your indicator, light switch and everything, and it looks real. Now, I don't know how much that's going to cost, and I obviously haven't seen it. It's still technically in development at MOZA Racing, but when that comes out, that means it'll be pretty much just perfect. I have had to set up this. It didn't work default as I plugged it in. So I had to assign all the keys basically. Now, the only things I've done is the accelerator, pedals, all that kind of stuff, and my steering wheel. That's the only thing I've done. None of these buttons work yet, but there is some good options on it. We've got indicator, left and right. We've got the lights. Now we can put lights down, lights high, so that could be like main beams. We've also got some other ones here like wipers and other stuff, so we don't have to put wipers on manually in-game. There is a mod that allows you to put wipers on manually in-game, but I'm not using it. So that is something. They've also got volume, which I really like, because I could probably set that up to be the radio. I can turn the volume down on the radio, and I've got a few wheels, and I've got my thumbsticks here. So there's nice options that I can do here. I've got a horn, it looks like, and a set. So it looks like cruise control. So I could set cruise control on them. Really useful. If you go back to my first video I did on the MOZA, out of the 3 that I've done, you can see a close-up shot of all these keys here. So it's nice to have them options. But, I mean, I have to say, I'm very, very happy with this product. Very happy. I feel like this is now where I want to be with playing FS. I could never go to something else. Unless something came out that was in crazy realistic, like a proper tractor. Maybe if Massey Ferguson made their own wheel for Farming Simulator, maybe then. But I don't see myself going to anything else now. This is the ultimate upgrade. It feels like a real steering wheel. It's nice soft leather. It's stitched, solid. Like I said, the wheelbase is brilliant. I can use it on different things. It doesn't have to be just FS, so it's nice to have that functionality where I can just go, do you know what? I'm into my Formula 1 racing now. I'm just going to swap this wheel out and go to something else. It's really nice to have that option. So this whole setup that I've got here is perfect for anything now that I do when it comes to racing or driving, anything driving simulation games. And up here, I have still got this, which is controlling my camera. If I press that button there on the Hori system that you probably can't see in shot, but it's my side panel basically, so I can still use that for using a telehandler and everything. But it's nice to have this really large steering wheel now, and yeah, it's super cool. It is quite big, so it takes a little bit of time getting used to because I've been playing with such a small wheel, but it's so smooth. It feels solid and sturdy. I'm not having any rock on my stand, which I did before, and the reason for that is because the way I built it's kind of just the weight's at the front end, so it's pushing down the front kind of like stands that I've got that just make it now ultimately solid to the ground. So this here is not pushing anything, and no matter how much force I put on it, most of that force is going into the wheelbase itself, so it's not actually taking, or wobbling the stand basically that I've built. So I'm super happy with this, really happy. If you're looking to upgrade and you want to go to a steering wheel setup and you've got a bit of spare cash, or you can justify it with the amount of time you play the game, or even truck sim, if you play snow runner, truck sim and farming sim, then it's even more beneficial. But I can't recommend this enough. It's stunning. It's a stunning steering wheel. It's realistic, it feels immersive because of that. And yeah, it's faultless. It's just expensive. You can't hide from that. It's a lot of money, it is. But with me saying that, I'm not using the universal hub because I don't need to, because it's all set up through the MOZA. If you get a MOZA base, and you could even go down to the R5 and just got the steering wheel, it would be a bit cheaper then. And you don't need the pedals. Technically, you could use another set of pedals as long as they've got the same connection, then the hub would come in, but then you have to kind of just calculate the cost. So it doesn't have to be the full setup like I've got. If you want to just get this wheel set up, then you obviously probably need a base, but you can use external. You can use different company bases, so third-party bases. That's the whole point of having the universal hub. So if you get that, you can actually put the adapter on, and then you can use the wheel and that base. So really, technically, if you've already got a base of a different company and you've got some pedals, get the universal hub and the steering wheel, you can have this set up for farm sim. And that's the way I'm going to play the game. I'm a farm sim content creator, so this is where this is going to be used. I'd love to try it out on truck sim. I might do that in my own free time though, just to see, because I want to feel the force feedback. That's the one thing I feel like we're missing. But if we get the next version of Farming Simulator soon, and we might have force feedback in that, then I'm set for it. And for that's brilliant, because then I can showcase it off when the next version of Farm Sim comes out, and we can look back at these videos for reference of what my setup is. You can bet that I'll be using this now, especially for the farmhand, because I think it makes it more realistic and believable as a story if I'm driving with a steering wheel like this. But yeah, just to have fun and play the game, I'll be using this. So yeah, my overall review for this is it's an outstanding product. It's very expensive. It does cost quite a bit, but if you're looking to upgrade and get to the ultimate setup that can be used as well in conjunction with Farming Simulator for other games like Truck Sim, Snow Runner, or even just the full setup that you can change the wheel out to kind of go into other racing sims, then this, to me, is well worth the money. So yeah, very happy with it. I can highly recommend it. If you're looking for a big upgrade in your setup for Farming Sim, I honestly think that the MOZA racing wheel might be the best wheel on the market, because of the fact it can be used with truck sim and it's tailor-made for kind of truck farm sim. It's that perfect wheel size. It's the closest you're going to get, unless you want to go and get in a real tractor. So yeah, let's have a look at the software now. I think that's the next step, because the software, there's a lot to it, but a lot of it unfortunately isn't going to be useful for me, because of the fact that Farming Simulator, the game, restricts what can be done. But I'll show it off anyway, because I think it's important for me to just quickly go through that. Right, so we're now in the software called MOZA Pit House. You can see that it's detected all the products I've got. I've got the SRP pedals down here. We've got the R9 base there. And then this is the steering wheel. Now, it does say that it's a TSW, which is what it is. It's the TSW truck wheel. But we haven't got the image for it, which is a shame, because it seems like you can highlight these. And if I move the steering wheel, you can see that it is detecting it. It's just giving me a different picture. But it's a shame, because you can see that all these buttons here look like they can be customized. But that looks like a proper Formula One kind of racing, MOZA racing steering wheel. Now, it is really in-depth. You've also got a lot of games on the side that it will automatically detect. And I imagine there'll be some kind of saved presets that we can use for them. And you can see like games like Snow Runner would be really useful for this kind of wheel. And if we go up at the top as well, you can see that Euro Truck and American Truck Simulator are there as well. So that'd be really good for this. Now, if I click on them, even though there's no game found, and that's what I need to do basically. I need to try and get the game installed, and it should see it. There might be some presets for it, and we can use it. But let's have a look at the base settings. So this is the base, now the wheel base, so we can change the steering angle, we can change the sensitivity of the road. Each one, if you are using the software, you can highlight over the information there. our little icon, and it'll give you an information of everything that's there. Now, the game force feedback intensity, I've just put to 100 because obviously just seeing if anything came through and nothing did come through. But then we've also got things like maximum wheel speed. So that's the speed that I think that it returns back to the center. Like I said, it's really difficult to try these out because of the fact that Farming Simulator kind of restricts, unfortunately, what the wheel can do, just because, you know, it doesn't have any force feedback, which is such a shame. Now, the wheel spring strength is the one that I did get the most kind of feel from. So if you up this all the way, it kind of makes the wheel stronger the more you turn it. Like now it's quite, you know, strong, and it will have a bit more spring, even though there's no spring that's doing that. So it does feel nice, that does, because you can feel a bit of tension on the road maybe. It's like simulating a bit of force feedback, but really we want that in-game because you want to go over bumps and kind of feel it in the wheel and stuff like that. You got wheel dampener and everything. Now there's advanced settings, which that you'd have to go into, but it's like torque. A lot of this stuff's going to be for the racing side of things. You've even got like a effects equalizer, a curve for the FFB baseline curve, and some miscellaneous stuff, which is soft limit strength. There's loads of stuff in there. And then if we go to the steering wheel, you can obviously change LEDs and change the colour of stuff like that in here. I do think some of this needs updating. I did put the latest firmware on when I first did it, but I think there's been another update since that, so I need to update it. But this is where you're going to customise things. So if I wanted to customise some of these buttons, you know, I can actually go ahead and do that. So we'll try that out in the future. So I'll definitely get that sorted out. It's going to take some time though, so I'm not going to do that in this video. And then you've got a clutch if you had a clutch. These are the dashboards that I've been on about, so you can get dashboards that sit on top of the base. Not really too useful for truck sim, farm sim that's more racing. This is the universal hub, so I've had that connected, it'd be there. And you've got shifters, you've got a gearbox there, handbrake, and then you've got your kind of softwares and firmware updates and all that kind of stuff. So that's things that we can go through. But yeah, this is the software. This is where you're going to do it. This is where you're going to pretty much customize it. Now, there is an app, but I haven't tried that out. But yeah, I'd highly recommend doing that if you've got it, because I think you can do it on the fly then. So that's really useful. So I'll make sure to try that out for myself. But no, I just wanted to show you the wheel in use and what it's like. I'm proper chuffed with this. It's a banging item by MOZA Racing. They've really brought something that personally I think is the best wheel that I've ever used, in my opinion. And I'm really looking forward to using it going forward into Farming Simulator, making all my videos. So on that note, I am going to leave the video there. I've really enjoyed doing these videos, these 3 videos on these MOZA products. And a massive thank you to MOZA Racing for reaching out to me and, yeah, sending me over these products to review. I'm definitely going to be using this going forward. Without a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to be having this wheel for all my Farming Simulator content from now on, because it's just well worth it. Big step up in my opinion. Massive upgrade for my setup anyway, so I'm really happy with it. So I'll keep the links in the video description as the last one for the R9 base and the steering wheel. Go check them out if you're interested. Go ahead and upgrade if you're into it, because yeah, you won't be disappointed. So thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you've liked it, if you found it informative. Also, if you're new, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.